looking at you.
Okay. Hey, what's up, y'all? You are listening to your Mental Matters podcast. I'm your girl, Mo. And for those of you watching, thank you for tuning in. We are back with another episode, and we have a very special guest in the building.
I feel like you always say that to
I,
everybody. Now, if it, I'm just letting you know, you know how crazy it's gonna be when you don't say that to somebody. They're gonna be like,
what happened?
because how do you introduce somebody without saying they very special now?
No, but you are, though.
I mean, to somebody.
Yes, to a lot
Somebody.
of people, I feel like.
Well, I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
feel like everybody's very special to somebody. So
Very true. I mean, I consider you a special guest just because I feel like even the way we kind of came to like meet each other formally, because I feel like I've known of you, which I told you like, So Shameless, like I was a big fan of. I mean, the audience is probably like, who? They probably know who you are, but some people may not, right? So I wanna have you, of course, in a few like give all of your, all of who you are, the many hats that you wear. But I first want to start off by just saying thank you, right?
what did I do?
Thank you for first and foremost.
Yeah, feed me. I love it. Feed me. Give me the thanks. I want all of that. I need it. I get a lot of heat. So give me the thanks. I need that.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, and you may not know, we are in your studio right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to the Hardest Soft Studios.
Absolutely. So that's one. Thank you for this space. I really love it. I mean, my audience probably doesn't know where I record. Like some people may know, but usually, like where I've been recording for the past like 2 years. Yeah, but like kind of the transition into like coming here, and then I still go back and forth a little bit, like because it's new, but I really have enjoyed just like our exchange and being able to like connect with you and have conversations. Even I know the last recording, shout out to Docs, like afterwards you were even just giving me gems about like, how I could improve.
Yeah, well, when people come to my studio, I like, because I'm here,
Yeah.
I like to use my experience to help them grow, because if they see themselves growing, they come back.
Yeah.
And just because I really fuck with feeding into my community. I really fuck with it, and I just, believe it or not, it does more for me than people would think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Yes.
Getting that response from people that I've talked to, like, yo, I really appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I took the time to step back, to take you to the side and say, like,
For
yo,
sure.
maybe you shouldn't have
Yes,
this going on.
absolutely. And I'm thinking about that in this episode.
I know, 'cause I seen you. You was just like this with your phone. Like,
Right,
yo,
I was
I'm like,
like,
yo,
ooh,
just let it go.
Yeah.
Just go. You're really good at what you do.
Thank you.
Let it go. Just flow.
Thank
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, truly. And I feel like, our connection really came from T. Shout out to T.
Oh,
a couple
man.
of shout outs in this episode. Because and T, she's in town now, so we'll probably hang out after this. But
You're going to get drunk, girl.
listen, I mean, it's summer, it's hot.
It is.
But yeah, I think just like the way we came to meet formally was also really cool because it wasn't expected. Like I didn't expect to even like meet you in the way that we did. I mean, I feel like when you podcast, I feel like eventually you'll probably like somehow connect with other podcasters, like whether it's through an event or through like somebody knowing somebody else, and then you guys come together that way. But yeah, I think it was just one random day. Like T kind of just hit me like, hey, boom, boom, boom. Like, do you want to come like see, Tahoe Space? I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And then us meeting, I feel like it just flowed. It was very natural. Like nothing felt forced. It just felt like, and I'm big on like not feeling pressure or force behind anything in general. Like I like to feel like it feels genuine, it feels organic. I mean, we're from New York, so I feel like naturally when somebody's kind of like on BS, you kind of feel it. If you grew up,
energy is a thing.
Energy is a real
It's a thing. You could just feel it coming off of people, especially in New York, because you got so many characters all over the place. You either take to something immediately, or you just be like, all right,
yeah,
that's not my vibe.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and I didn't get any of that from you. I think it was
Thank
just
you.
you just
Thank you.
which have been very chill and like calm and genuine. I feel like from day one, and I always appreciate that. So that's why I'm saying you are a special guest, and it's a big thank you because trust me, I've met people who was just like, ooh, like from out the gate, it was like, oh, you have some sort of.
It was funny. I was gonna tell this story on my show.
Yeah.
But I have products that I take to the post office often, right? So I'm always in and out the post office. I ride up there on my little scooter because I don't want to lose my parking space, right?
you.
So I'm talking about I might go to the post office 4 times a week
Right.
for the last year, maybe more.
Yeah.
And there's a young girl that works at the post office. And I'm always like, good morning, thank you for everything. And I keep it moving. She's very cute, right? But, or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, I'm just keeping it very cordial and keep it pushing. And I know with women, y'all always know that we got something up our sleeve. So I'm always very aware to just keep it clean, right? I'm not flirting. I'm just being, you know, very direct, whatever it is. I keep it pushing. Friday, I think I went in there. Yeah. And as soon as I went in there, and she's very, I don't know if y'all know postal workers. They don't want no shit. They like, give me a package, all right, how much, you got insurance, all right, bye, all right, get out. They don't play. They don't. So you're right. So I go in there Friday with my packages. I go up to one window and she's like, you, come over here, come here. I've been waiting for you. And I go up to her and I start taking my packages out and she's like, she called me around to the other side. And she's like, I didn't know you had a podcast. Why you ain't tell me you had a podcast? And I'm like, how does that work? Like, I'm just walking here like, I got a podcast? Right. Like, I don't. And then another lady that I've been seeing in there for a long time, she's like, oh, yeah, he's really good on the internet. And the reason I'm bringing that up, she was very nice to me and I left. And I was like, yo, your character stepped in the room before you. Sure. People, you don't even know who's going to know you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I was just very thankful that I carried myself in an upstanding way with her. For all this time, because she's like, oh, see me on the internet talking shit on So Shameless or being crazy sexual on Hard to Soft. Me like, that guy? Right. He's that nice.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So sure. I like that you got that energy from me. That feels good.
Absolutely. And I think that's very much so, just to like second that. Like, that's important, that like, because I think too, when people see you on camera, they may already have a perception of who you're going to be. Absolutely. And I'm big on, and that could be like, I feel like I'm good at like not, like being able to see beyond the surface because of the work that I do. So like, I just try not to do that in general. Like, okay, cool. Just because you're on a podcast, just because you said this thing, or it was, you know, there was some salacious something, you know, behind.
And I've said things, and a lot of them have been salacious. So,
right. Yes. Doesn't mean like when I meet you or interact with you, it's going to be crazy. You know, I didn't think that at all. Like when we met, you were just chilling. You were like, hey, what's up?
Well, I was trying to get your business too.
For sure. Like there was something going on, right? There was intention there, but it didn't feel like, you know, it was just straight up like
dickhead.
Yeah.
Straight internet dickhead. I hate when I meet people and they cannot separate themselves or their personalities from their internet personality. It's really frustrating to me to see how much social media has invaded people's real lives. Like, and this has been for years now. If you go out with somebody from social media and they be like, oh, you seen what they was talking about on Twitter? My timeline is this and my timeline, and I'm just like, bro, are you alive in there? Right. Because for me, it's just Twitter. Yeah. Or it's just content, right? And I have a whole other life outside of that. But some people just cannot break from that. And that's a problem for me. Yeah. You know, and I think that's a problem for society, period. Because people are being followed. Instead of art imitating life, life is imitating art. People are literally following what they're seeing on TV or on their phones, or you know what I mean? Yeah. That's not good.
It's not. Like, perception is now reality.
It is.
Yeah. And people will literally, they will treat you as such. Like, and I mean, I guess for you, like, do you have like a moment or a story where maybe something like that has happened to you, where like someone...
Oh yeah, I have several. Yeah. I remember taking a girl out who I was a fan of. I thought she was beautiful. This is before I got engaged, before I was in a relationship. This years ago. Yeah. Eons ago. Right. Oh, we got an Eons bell. Because people always say Eons ago. Yeah, that was last week. Nigga. Yeah, that's you. But I was so excited to meet her, and we go to the bar, and she's just sitting there looking at me. And I'm trying to talk to her, but she's just like, looking. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why are you? Because you're Tahoe. I'm waiting for you to like be Tahoe. And this reason why she said that is because I used to be on Instagram all the time, walking around with my phone in front of my face, in public, making fun of people, just joking all the time. And it was a consistent thing all through this. That's what I was doing. And so she was just waiting for me to entertain her. But I'm a real person. Like, I'm a human being, Ma. I'm on a date with you. I'm happy to be here too. Yeah. And I'm feeling like I'm on a date with a fan. This is weird now. Crazy. And now I feel like I'm playing myself. Like, I shouldn't even be here because this isn't real to you. This is just like a moment, like say if yesterday met Derek Jeter or somebody, you know what I mean? Like a star, he loves basketball and baseball, stuff like that. Yeah. it's not a real moment where you could actually meet me on my level because you're stuck in your fantasy of me. That's never going to go well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People often get into dates or relationships with people where they create this persona of what they think this is going to look like, and you don't even see this person for who they really are. And that's something that I try to avoid. So, you know, I'm me.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. And that's tough though. I feel like I've heard of like several instances where that has happened, even from like, you know, other like women podcasters, or even like I've actually had an interesting experience where like I guess was dating someone or talking to someone, and I knew that they were someone that was more popular, but I never brought it up just because I didn't want them to be like, how you know that? And you've been watching me, like you weird, like you're dumb. Like I didn't want it to be that, so I just never said anything, and they never brought it up the entire duration, and we was dealing with each other for a little minute.
So you never said that you knew who they were?
Never. Never said that I knew who they were.
That's kind of crazy.
That's what I'm like.
That's kind of crazy.
It feels weird. It feels like we're both keeping a secret.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
an elephant in the room.
And I'm just like, but like they never brought it up either. Like they would say, oh yeah, like, I mean, based on how they would move, like their schedule would be just very like they're up at like 3-4 a.m. and I'm should be asleep, but I'm over there like, you know, because I was like into the person, right? And I was into the person not because of who they were, just for other reasons, but like
not who they were outside, like
outside, outside, because I'm like we did different things, and I'm not trying to be
in your lane, right?
Yeah, I'm in my lane. Like I'm very much so happy and content in my lane, and you know they're in a different arena where I know they would probably have to just be up at you know interesting hours and be around certain people. So I knew this. But I was like, I'm not saying a damn thing because I'll be damned if somebody think like, oh yeah, this girl she's sweating me or she whatever for this reason.
Child, I ran it. Oh my God. Can I tell you how I played myself with this one time though?
What happened?
Again, this is early on in Twitter days. Okay. Shut up yesterday. He's my engineer. He's my cousin. Okay. I go on a date with a girl. And this is when I used to talk about, like I said, I talk about everybody all the time. Yep. She goes to the bathroom. I don't know. I met her outside. Yeah. At a bar or something. I met her somewhere. And then we went on a date. And I'm like, oh, she has on wedges. I hate wedges. Or I said something. I'm going crazy on Twitter while she's in the bathroom. Wow. And she comes back after a while, too. She was taking the time to come back. And she comes back, and I'm sitting there. I got my drink in my hand. I'm like, yeah, it was good. She's like, you know I follow you, right?
Oh, my God.
No. I didn't know you follow me. She's like, yeah, have a nice night. And walked away from the table. And I literally had my drink in my hand just like the whole time. I don't even think I took a sip while she was talking. I was just sitting there like, and I just watched her walk away like, and then I took the biggest gulp like, oh, I played myself. I played myself.
Do you know did you not know how like popular you were at the time, or you just didn't care?
I definitely care. I think, you know, it's funny. Sometimes I like being an asshole. Sometimes I don't like being an asshole. Yeah. Sometimes I like being an asshole, but I never really like to hurt people's feelings. Right. Sometimes it's fun to be an asshole when it's like there's no victim. It's a victimless crime. But the times when you know you hurt somebody's feelings, like, because imagine how she felt walking out of there.
For sure.
That's just like an asshole moment. So
would you have wanted her to stay and y'all talk about it? Or
I would have loved her to laugh it off with me, for sure. Oh, right? Man. I would have loved for her to laugh it off with me, for sure. But, you know, how do I dictate how somebody receives, you know, disrespect, for sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm a very colorful person. I'm an extremely colorful person. And I've had to learn how to measure my vividness. Yeah. You know what I mean? When it comes to interacting with people and stuff like that. It's been a very long journey of that. I'm still working on it. Yeah. Still working on it to this day. Yeah, for sure. Especially being in a relationship. It's very hard.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I could imagine. And we're going to get into that too. You know, like, but thank you for sharing that so far. This is a little warm up because I know.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm
about
ready.
to get into.
Pat on.
Oh, thank you.
It's hot in here.
It's hot, y'all. It's almost July. You know, July is like the hottest. I think that July is probably the hottest month out of the summer. I'm sweating a lot. I hope you guys can't see it too much, but listen.
No, I think we're looking good on here.
Yeah.
I love it.
We glowing. We glowing. Okay. So, Yeah, I wanted to have you on the pod. For one, is Men's Mental Health Month. We're at the end of June, right? So, the thing is with the podcast that's actually funny with my podcast is that like a lot of men have come on the show and been very open, more than women, surprisingly, right? Even though like the host of the show is a woman, and welcomes women to come on, more men have been interested in coming on the show, or I've been able to like connect with more men and reach out and have them come on the show. So, with it being Men's Mental Health Month, I thought it would be perfect to,
what are you about to do
talk,
to me? What are you about to do?
To talk to you. And so I want to get into some mental health stuff, right?
I'm mental. I'm definitely mental.
Why do you say that?
Right
Why do you say you're mental?
First of all, I'm a Pisces. Second of all, I'm an only child.
Oh.
Third of all, there's a mix of different personalities within me.
Okay.
I think I was born Sakai. That's my real name.
Oh, okay.
I became Tahoe at some point, which was a street persona.
Okay.
Right? And I don't think that was a real person. I think that was something that I just needed to be because I didn't have a dad. I didn't have a brothers. I didn't fit in very... growing up in Brooklyn back in the days, we talking Biggie. We talking about the best era of hip-hop. We talking about the Cosby's, different world. It was just lit. Like, everything was just black lit back then.
Right.
We played Skelly in the streets. We played football in the streets.
Yeah.
There was a lot of physical interaction with people, right?
For sure.
But I walked outside by myself, and I didn't have a father. I lived with my mother. I had 8 aunts. So for a long point, I felt like I acted like a girl. I reacted to things emotionally. Like I didn't fit in with my male counterparts very well. And so I became this to just feel better about walking around. And that led me down a dark path. And then when I came back, I became a father.
Okay.
I became a person that was trying to get away from the streets.
Right.
When I say came back, I went to jail. So, that there was all of that.
Yeah.
And I just changed into somebody else. That is now a creator. That is now I really take being a father seriously.
Yeah.
I take being in a relationship seriously. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an extremely sexual person, as you may know. So there's just a lot of stuff going on there, which is why I say I'm mental. I'm extremely mental.
Yeah.
Right. And I also have ADHD bad, like super bad. Like they give me pills, but I don't take them because I forget bad.
Interesting. And thank you for sharing that. I feel like I actually don't think that makes you mental. I think from what I hear, you have a lot of self-awareness. And I think, there are a lot of men walking around who don't have the self-awareness that you have, even as they are aging and, continuing to navigate life, they still have, a mentality of,
Well, that's safe. It's safe not to change, to be where you're comfortable at, to stay right there. It's very safe, right? Yeah. It's scary. I said today on Twitter, one of the hardest truths to tell are the ones about yourself, or even to tell yourself, like to actually say, I'm this, and it doesn't fit, or it's not great, it's not positive, it's not a vibe. That's hard to say to yourself, right? I remember a time when I hated on my friends. I came home from jail. They was promoters, and I was a big drug dealer before I went to jail. Used to go to the bar, buy the whole shit, right? I used to hang out with BMF, so I was, Nick, give me 4 bottles, fuck that, we lit. Yeah. And I came home and I was working at a damn coffee shop. And now the friends I used to spend money at their spot, I gotta wait for them on the line outside to get in. Because a whole different friend group, right? Yep. So these guys, they out, whatever. Yeah. And man, I used to just be so jealous of them. And it wasn't something purposeful. I just felt like I missed did y'all just respect me because I was a drug dealer? Or did y'all respect me for me? Did the world respect me for me? And I just realized that you have to earn that. You have to earn that. And being a hater is not a dope thing, right? So
that part.
I think I came off like a hater. I came off like entitled, like y'all got this, I should be where y'all at. And that was a hard reality to admit to myself. Like, nigga, you got to do your own work. Yeah. Nobody owes you that, For sure. And that was just very hard for me to do. I ruined those friendships. So,
That's what I was gonna say. How did they respond to you? Like, did anybody have like a honest conversation with you and say, yo, this is how you're coming.
I don't think anybody acknowledged. I had to have that conversation with myself, and I did apologize for it later on.
Yeah.
But those friendships were already ruined, and it wasn't a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
I think we all had our issues with each other, right? And so that friend group just disbanded basically completely. You know what I'm saying? But in me looking into myself years later, yes, I went back and apologized for my behavior years before. Right? That was more for me than anything.
Yeah.
You know, I apologized to them and I apologized to myself. My inner self.
Yeah.
Like, because that was a lot of shit that I just needed to get out, put it on the floor, deal with, and then I'm good. Because I know that's not who I am.
Right.
Know? It's just something that just a phase that I was going through.
For sure.
You know?
And then I think you going to jail, I'm sure, could have played a part in that. Like, maybe you were even just like, that was residual things from that. You could have just been angry, right?
It was horrible. Coming home, I moved to the Bronx. I would live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I was really big in Brooklyn. And right before I went to jail, I moved to the Bronx. I wanted to get away from everything because I went to trial for some shit.
Okay.
And I just wanted to get away. I didn't want the influence. I was smart enough to know this is not good for you.
Right.
Right? You've nigga.
Yeah.
You're going to die here. Is this corner worth dying on? So I left. And when I came home, bro, I went and got a job at a coffee shop. The streets was waiting for me. Waiting. And I just wanted to be busy.
Right.
And I wanted to be a dad. But I was 200 pounds of muscle. Stocky, strong. You've seen guys come home from jail and they do nothing but push-ups and weights. And I was like, and I had a fucking apron on.
I'm like literally, I'm envisioning this, and I can see it.
And I was just like this, yo, what do you want in your latte? And I was 30 something, and my manager was like 18.
Wow.
And they're like,
that's interesting.
You fucked up that latte, it's burnt, do it over. And I was like, I'll crush you, bitch. But yeah, in my head, I wasn't saying that out loud, but it was humbling.
Yeah.
And so just imagine taking off that apron and walking, down the block in Bronx. You don't know nobody. You got your whole life over here that you could go to. Your friends is popping over on the other side in the clubs, and you walking down the block with an apron in your hand and a dad hat, and you trying to figure it out. It was very humbling.
Yeah.
Going back to being safe and comfortable.
Yep.
A lot of these niggas, they found their niche with their friend groups, and they make them feel important. And the world doesn't make you feel important. And you fucked up in those years going to school or going to trade school or just having a job for a long period of time or having friendships or networks. You fucked that up.
Yeah.
Now you just got D-Black, Rock, or you know what I'm saying? These niggas on the corner. Them niggas can't do nothing for you really, but they make you feel seen. When you walk up the block, yo, Black.
Yeah.
And you like, yo, what's up, what's up, what's up? They make you feel good. The world don't make you feel like that.
Right.
So would you really just give that up and go off on your own if you don't really have the training for that? I went to a really good high school. Remember, who I became wasn't who I really was.
Right.
So I was always able to go back to who I originally was.
Right.
A lot of the people that I was on the streets with couldn't do that. I understand the niggas outside. I understand it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went to the public pool yesterday.
Really?
So bad for them kids, bro. I was just like, yo.
Oh, Lord.
Yo, it is horrible. Shout out to all you teachers, the parents. Oh, my God, bro.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I called them porch monkeys. I was
oh, my God.
I was so mad. I was like, these fucking niggers. Sorry, can I say that on the show? I was so mad.
We gotta cut that out.
I'm sorry. I was like, yo.
That's so...
The youth is in trouble.
I agree.
The youth is in trouble. And I was like, where are they parents at? And how do you deal with this, on some everyday shit?
It's a lot.
A girl came into the locker room. Yeah, where the men's locker room? She just came in, security trying to come get her.
No
way.
She's
like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, the girl's just as bad as the boys.
Oh, they're worse sometimes.
She came in and she's like, I'm going to smack the shit out you. I told you, come on. Talking to a grown boy. Oh man, it was rough. So
it's a lot.
Sorry if I overtalk. My bad.
No, you're fine. This is amazing so far. No, thank you for sharing that. And I think, once again, I just appreciate you for sharing, for being open about that, because it's hard. I feel like talking about your past, right? And the hard things that you've gone through. I feel like, and me just thinking about the event that I went to yesterday, a shout out to 19 Keys. 19 Keys was there, and yeah, and he's actually in Brooklyn today. If in case y'all wanted to go, he's at Lips. He's at Lips Cafe right now, probably. Just probably it's a continuation of yesterday, just kind of like enlightening the community. But he was sharing about just like Black trauma and how like that is something that like continues to just be like marketable, and like we are comfortable with our trauma as a Black community, and so like movies that depict it, and like conversations that continue, or just like things like music or whatever that continue to perpetuate like Black trauma is just gonna keep us in the state of trauma. Bro, right?
It really does, though.
Yeah, but I think in the way that you have like transformed and like what you're doing, I think it can just help people to see like you don't have to stay stuck in it. Like, even though I think dependent, like if you're in an urban community, it may feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I think there always is, right? I believe that. I always believe there's always a silver lining. You can always get to that light, but it's just a matter of like coming up with a plan, right? And or just finding community, even if that's one or two people that's like doing more positive things than you are, right? I think like in order for you to get out of that, you gotta find at least one or two, and then it'll grow people who are doing better than you, right? Not people who are necessarily on your level doing better than you. That's why for me, like even like me in this podcast space, or in I'll use this as an example, is like I'm always like, well, who been doing this longer, and how can I learn from them?
That's why I want you to come here.
Yes.
Because I think you're very talented.
Thank you.
And I think this is a brilliant space. And I'm like, yo, I will lend what I can to help you. We just need that. And I was talking to a dude yesterday that does real estate. He's actually a sanitation worker like I am. And he has 3 houses.
Wow.
And, he was just giving me all these gems. We was on the route together. I was in his garage.
Right.
And I was like, I have the money. I don't know who to talk to about what to do with it. We don't share enough resources and information. Like, we just go off and do our thing, our own thing, and, kind of gatekeep, not really gatekeeping, but like even my accountant, I ask him certain things, but all he talks about is millions, millions, millions. Bro, I don't have that. Right. I don't, it's not relatable to me. I need to know what to do with this money.
Absolutely.
And he's just kind of, something's me out, whatever. He's too big for me. So when this guy was talking to me, I was like, yo, you cleared up so many cobwebs with this conversation that I've had, and I'm supposed to be the leader of a family, but I don't know what to do. I'm just scared to make the wrong move, and you just helped me so much. I want to say this before I end that, though.
Good.
When it comes to change, and you were talking about change, willing to step outside your box. One of my favorite movies growing up was The Untouchables. And I think Sean Connery is in it, and Kevin something. I can't remember his name. Yeah. The dude that was in Bodyguard. And one of my favorite, Kevin something.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot too.
Kevin Costner, the dude that kissed Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Great movie. But a line that I always repeat in my head was when Sean Connery, who was his mentor, got shot and killed. And on his way out, he grabbed him and said, what are you willing to do to change? Because this thing is going to keep you right there. The system is built to keep you right there. Yep. You have to be willing to go one step further than your opposition, one step further than the game, one step further than your trauma. You got to be willing to step outside that box on some crazy shit, because you can't even know what's on the other side of that door. Right. But you definitely got to bust it open. So how bad do you want it? And I wanted it bad. I had so much to prove to myself. Yeah. I still do.
Yes.
Every day I'm like, yo, how can I push it further? You know what I'm saying? And if I say this to anybody listening, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? Because comfort is your enemy. Yeah. Where you're safe at, what you've been doing and what you know how to do every day, you clock in, you clock out, and you eat the same thing. Comfort is your enemy. It's not going to help you. Right. I say that to racism. I say that to the civil rights movement. I say that to all these things. If we just say, I'm not walking, then you'll never create what the bus thing did when they boycott the bus boycott.
Right.
We'll never create that again because we're too comfortable. We have too much. If we're not willing to go through a state of uncomfortability to attain goals that we feel like are outside our reach, we will never get them.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about personal growth.
For sure. Absolutely. That's fire. That's a gem.
That fucking coffee shop.
That's a gem.
I was outside of my comfort zone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I needed to go through that to get to the next step.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
A lot of my niggas came in there too. They was drug dealers. They used to ride up. We gonna go see Tahoe.
I know that's right.
Hey nigga, let me get a large coffee, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Yo.
No.
Can you imagine 3 niggas walking into Juan Valdez?
Ooh.
Chains dripping and all that. Yo, nigga. Serve them. No, I'm not serving them, nigga.
That is hilarious. I mean, I'm glad you went through that though. I look at that as growing pains, honestly. And you were growing in real time. It was frustrating. And a lot of times it feels terrible. That's why I say, like, I like to use the run club because I've been running. I was a part of a run club. I know you said you call me Charlotte from Sex and the City because she runs all day. And I was like, who? And I was like, yes. When I first started that run club, when I tell you I was dying, like I was like, I do not know how these people are running continuously because I cannot breathe.
Right.
And now I did a 50-mile challenge.
Wow. 15?
50 miles.
That's worse.
For the month of June though. For the month. Like you have to complete 50 miles for the month.
It's almost 1.7 a day. 1.6 a day.
Yeah, which is pretty, like, I feel like but the thing is, the version of myself when I started the run club in October of 2024, if you would have told me I had to complete 50 miles for the month, for a month, I would have been like, I can't do it.
No way.
But
I know I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like me today, like they just restarted it again. Now we're doing it for July. And I'm like, let's do it. And then they kind of upped it and was like, we could do 100. And I was like because I'm in a completely different space physically now where like I can run for an extended period of time and I'm not crying or feeling like I'm dying. Like I'm more in shape. I'm more in shape than I was last year. I'm not like the best shape. Trust me, I still eat a little crazy, but it's just better. And it was like, and it hurt. But if I'm being honest, it hurt so bad.
What did it hurt?
In the beginning?
I just need to know your chest, your knees. Where did it hurt?
My entire being was in pain. My chest, like, for one, I couldn't catch my breath. It took me at least a solid like 2 to 3 minutes to get back to a place that was like level. And then the next day I went home and went to sleep. I woke up, my body was in shambles. Like every part, my arms, my legs, my butt, everything was like, don't do it again. Do not go back out there because it's bad for you. Like my body was like, go sit down. When really it's the opposite. It's like, no, the more you sit down, you're going to keep feeling like that. Every time you try to work out, whether it's strength training, whether it's running, but running is different because it's like the tenacity and the resilience that you have to push. Like
keep going.
You got to keep going.
One more step. You got to keep going.
That's the part where like strength training, you can like, you know, pause, take your breaks,
go lighter.
Like, exactly. With running, it's like, just run.
It's the same shit.
And then if you're doing it with a group of people and they 2 blocks ahead of you and then you still back there, you're gonna get left. So you don't have it's like you gotta figure it out. So that's what it was for me. Like that's kind of like I use this example a lot because that's a physical part of it, but it did something to me internally as well. Where like now I think like if I could do that, I could do anything. You know, like, you know, and not just in the physical, but also
I am horrified at the idea of running 50 miles. I am terrified.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Because my chest tightens up so bad.
Yeah.
When I try to run. So I can imagine what you went through.
Are you a
fact
smoker?
that you kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You smoke?
I'm a bad vapor.
That's what it is. Because I think the funny part is like I would maybe like I'll figure out if I want to cut this out or not. But I would smoke hookah from time to time before I started the run club. Maybe pretty often, like every other weekend. Like I was just, when I would go out, hookah was a regular, right? When I started the run club.
You stopped it.
Stopped hookah. I could not do hookah and run, like.
Your chest was just too full of air.
That's why I couldn't catch my breath.
Right.
It took me forever to catch my breath. And I was like, if I keep smoking hookah when I'm not at this run club, I'm going to come here one day and fall out on this track or on the street. So
Did you miss it?
I missed it in the beginning. I missed it a lot, and now I don't think about hookah at all.
Put that in my body.
It's been like almost a year, and I'm like, I'm cool now. Like, cause my friend, she was like, oh, we should buy hookah for the summer, and we just, you know, be in my backyard. We don't got to go to a hookah spot. We bought the hookah. I have no desire to smoke the hookah. I'm literally like, we bought this for no reason. Shout out to you, friend. She probably gonna be like, girl, I wasted my money. But literally, it's like, I also feel like if I smoke it, like I'm literally poisoning myself now because I just feel so different. Like, I drink my wine. I drink like, tequila and maybe some whiskey from time to time. But like, that's different. You drink some water, you get it out. You drink some electrolytes, you get it out. But and I see what we did here, where I'm talking about me for too long, and we about to get back on you.
I'm not playing with you. I told you I'm not playing with you.
I've been talking for 2 minutes straight.
You think you
slick? We are about to shift this back to where we need to be.
I'm not playing with you.
But no, I feel like just what you said, it resonated with me. But just in reference to the Run Club, because that's more recent. But yeah, it was the growing pains that you needed to get to where you are today, and now you're doing great.
I might start running now.
Yeah.
I might.
You should.
I don't like being scared of things.
You should. It was scary. I'm telling you. I
lived once. My grandmother passed. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Cut you off. But my grandmother passed recently. Yeah. And of course, I turned 50 years old recently.
I can't believe that still.
Yeah. And
happy belated.
You live one time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You don't get a redo. It's not going to slow down.
Yeah.
Every day that you wake up, that's off your record. That day counts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get, even if you might sleep all day, you might not answer your phone. That shit counts.
It does.
Life is going to keep going.
Yeah.
And I want to have the fun.
Yeah.
I want to prove shit to myself every day. I never want to get too comfortable or too just like lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I said to myself, once I'm watching The Sopranos right now and I have 4 episodes left.
Yeah.
And I said, once I'm finished, I'm reading 2 books.
Mm.
I'm gonna just take them wherever I go.
Yeah.
And I want to read 2 books because I haven't read in so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's my challenge to myself. And also, now that you got me thinking about this, I'm like, I'm gonna start running.
You can do it. And there's so many out here. Like, I was actually looking for a new one, just to have like multiple options. And there's one called like the Recess Run Club. Mm-hmm. They're based in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. There's so many out here. Like the one that I go to is based in Queens. I'm
scared of y'all runners though.
Why?
Like, because y'all gonna make me keep going.
Have no choice. I'm telling you,
bro.
Like I started running 5Ks now. Like it's just you're just doing 5. I'm like, you're just doing 5Ks on a Saturday just because we want to, like that.
Come on, let's go do a 5K.
Yes.
That's like going to get a bottle of fucking.
Like just to do it, and then now they're talking about the half marathon, which is like 13.1 miles. I'm like, the fact that I've entertained the idea of doing it. I'm just like.
I just want to know one thing before you go. You bought wine here.
Yeah.
And you run.
Yes.
So it seems to me like you got a lot of white friends. Because this is the shit that they do. I know they run and they drink wine.
Yo.
And so you must know the key. Are you an Illuminati? Like, what do you know? Tell me now. I'm not letting you out.
Listen,
what do you know?
I don't know anything, but I do know that like I just feel better now in my body physically.
Is it the wine or is it the running?
I think it's both. I think it's both. That's balance, baby. That's what we call balance. Like, do not get it messed up. And that's why I say, just because I'm a therapist, listen, therapists be stressed, we be needing some wine.
Child,
okay?
Imagine how you go through that. You soak up so many people's.
A lot.
And you're the worst part of themselves.
Yeah.
Or what they feel is the worst part of themselves. They come in and they just trying to dump it on you or figure it out.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes you be like, wow, that was intense. So thank you.
No,
thank you. And especially because there's not too many of y'all, bro. It's not enough. Maybe there is a lot.
Yeah.
But because of COVID and whatever happened with the therapy push over the last 6, 7 years or 5 years, y'all are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like y'all get a lot. And so thank you for what you're doing for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's a lot. There are moments where I'm like, and I'm still talking about me, so we're gonna shift it in 60 seconds. But it's great work. I love what I do, and that's why I'm here, because it's your turn. We're gonna talk about Tahoe now, right? So we're gonna try, right? So we didn't even do the check-in with you. I know we've talked about your past a little bit, but now let's talk about the present. You today, you right now, you lately, right? Like how's your mental health been lately? I want to check in because of course it's Men's Mental Health Month. Father's Day also just passed too, so I wanted to check in there. Like, start off with the check-in and then get into like how's fatherhood been treating you lately?
I think I want to say this as far as checking in. I come from a hustle mentality.
Yep.
I always have to be on top of something. I always got to start something. I always got something going on. I got a million different hustles.
Right.
And I was saying to myself yesterday, this is the first time in my life right now that I've actually been able to say I'm happy.
Good.
you always gonna have your ups and downs. There's always gonna be valleys. There's always gonna be hills. There's gonna be sun. There's gonna be rain. It's always gonna be like that.
Yep.
But for some reason, spiritually and emotionally, I feel even.
Good.
I feel at peace. I'm able to handle the things that happen. I'm able to, when people frustrate me or whatever, I'm able to take that beat.
Yeah.
And not react immediately.
That's
more
great.
Often than not. And you know, I'm a pretty violent past. So to be in a place where I'm able to look at things from, I feel like I got a really good white balance. And that's, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a camera guy. That means you get a clean slate. It's clean. It's just without any added frustrations or colors or emotions that are swaying you to go left. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm at a really good place. And yeah, I'm going to keep hustling, but I'm missing a really good, if life were to be today, yeah, I'd be cool. If it would, for the rest of my life, if I were to be able to just be where I am today, yeah, I would be cool. You know what I mean? It's the first time in 50 years I've been able to say that, or at least have said it. Wow. Have recognized you are blessed to have what you have. You are special. Yeah. You deserve things. Yes. You know what I mean? You know, for a long part of my life, I felt imposter syndrome. Like I didn't deserve. Like it was all going to get ripped away from me, or somebody was going to see me finally and embarrass me or expose me, or you know what I mean? For whatever. For whatever. Even walking through the streets of Brooklyn. You ain't one of us. Nigga, you went to a good school. Your name is Clarence. Clarence went to a very good school. Yeah, like
Clarence is crazy.
I feel very, very, no, Clarence is not my name.
I know. That's why I said Clarence is crazy. That's what
Sorry
I'm like.
to any Clarences out there. But no, I'm not Clarence. But yeah. I feel very secure and happy and grounded. Good. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, so. Good. And then when speaking about my children. Yeah. You know, Father's Day just passed. And my daughter took me out for dinner with my sons. Love it. And then handed me the check, which I wasn't going to let her pay. Wow. Anyway, I wouldn't, you know, I'm a father. I love you. Your money's for you. Use what you need to do for you. I didn't know she was going to let me pay. Yeah. But I wasn't going to pay. I wasn't going to let her pay anyway. Right? She comes up and she sits on the edge of my bed and we talk. You know what I mean? I took my sons out to the fucking free pool yesterday, and it was
that's why you were there. That's why I was like, why were you there?
Yeah, I took my sons.
Got it. Okay.
Just because I want to make sure that I spend time with them. Yes. We're gonna go shopping later on. As soon as we finish, we're gonna take them shop. Well, they're coming with me shopping. We're going to Costco's. Cool. One of my friends, if I may, she has ALS, and she's terminal. She's passing. Right. And I take my time to go over there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just chill with her. And she texted me yesterday. She has to use her eyes to text. She can't talk, she can't move her fingers or legs or anything. And she was like, that is the best, most normal conversation I've had with anybody in so long. I love you for that. Because I went over there and was like, bitch, when's the last time you came? I was like, wait a minute, because she don't have no man. Yeah, I was like, so you dead ass can't do nothing. I said, I'm bringing you a wee vibe. I'm be sitting right here just making you. I'm
done with you. You know what?
I'm like, you're not just leaving this earth without nothing. Like, no. So yeah, I'm gonna make her. I have to ask wifey first though if she thinks, is that cheating?
Might be.
If you make your dying friend nut with your phone,
I think so. But if you get,
cheating?
I think if you get.
Why are you laughing?
This is just, there needs to be consent across the board. Like
she wants it.
Yeah, but
she typed it into the computer.
Yeah, and like, then your girl, like your wifey being like,
I think wife would have to come. She'd have to be there.
She'd have to be there. Yeah, got you. Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? But we're both really out there.
Free?
So,
yeah. I met her at the block party. Yeah. She's so cool. She seems really chill.
But yeah, all in all, I'm just very proud of who I am today. I wasn't always the best father. I wasn't always, present or able to put the hustle down or the life down. You know what I mean? Oh, it's a day party here, and you got to make money today. I wasn't able to take time to devote to my children. Yeah. Because life was always like important. Yo, you got this event, you got to do this. having my son on the way home from the pool yesterday say, "Yo, I love you so much for the time you spend with us and taking time to be with us." And, you know what I mean? I just feel, like I said, I feel really complete. So I'm sorry my check-in was long, but
no, I love that.
Great. Yeah, life is good.
Thank you for sharing that, and I feel like that's beautiful. I mean, I feel like I say it every other episode that I don't have any children, but for the people who do, I'm just like, y'all are amazing.
Yeah, don't do it.
Because I'm like, literally, I'm kind of like, I'm very contemplative. Like, I tell myself, like, I want one child, because that's all I feel like I want to put my body through, or that like my body will be capable of handling.
Save it. Save your last egg, like right before menopause. That very last one, get that one pregnant.
That's what I'm just like.
The rest of them, don't do it.
I don't know, man. I mean, by the time like I find someone that I, would want to like marry and have a child with, eggs might be scrambled already. They might be done off. That's why I'm like, I mean, shout out to the ladies. I'm probably, this would be more like, a women's episode where we talk about like egg freezing and stuff. But I feel like that's really important once you get to a certain age. It's like, girl, just so you don't have to worry. So that I feel like I'm there where I'm like, I need to start going to those.
That'd be fire though. People. I think that's a really good option to take.
The egg freezing?
Yes. Yeah. Rather than just like.
But I also hear it's a really emotional problem. Like for the women who I know who are in that like space now where they're doing it, it's a very like, from what I hear, it's like emotionally, it just feels like a lot. So I'm just like, I mean, it could be different for different people. Like, I don't know if I'll have that same reaction, but I mean, you're not doing it naturally. So that I could see how, like,
right. But do you put the egg back in you, or is it?
When it's time, that's the part I don't like. I guess it depends on which way you're going to, like if you're going to do like IVF or if you're going to do, that's the part I don't even know all of those details. Yeah. Like I really got to start.
Because I know that's a whole process. That 9-month process, shout out to you ladies that do that. If I was a man and we could do it.
You would? You would consider?
For her, I would.
Yeah.
But normally, no, I'd have an IUD in. For me, y'all not getting me pregnant. You just average niggas just not going to get me pregnant.
The IUD though, sometimes.
Yeah.
The IUD don't even do what it's supposed to. I don't know what be going on.
I'm not going to say some crazy shit on here. It's a very healthy audience. It is. I'm just going to listen, I'm not having that baby.
Yeah, they're going to be, shocked.
But shout out to you because women and that's a whole process.
It's a whole process.
And I often said this, I've said this for so long that you can tell immediately when a woman's pregnant, when she knows she's pregnant, because she starts holding her stomach more.
Really?
She starts immediately, like, the "Thanks for My Child" song is like playing everywhere she goes. She stops laying on her stomach like that. She starts leaning on her back or her side more. Women instinctively become mothers from the minute they know they're pregnant. The minute they know.
What if they don't know? Like, is it like...
And that's generally because some of y'all ain't shit. Some of y'all smoke and drink, and y'all ain't shit.
It hurt the baby. Because that's yeah. I mean, I actually know of people who they literally did not know they were pregnant until they were like
6 months,
between 3 to 6 months down the line, and the babies were fine. Like
yeah. I know somebody was just drinking on vacation.
That is like,
and we thought she was just getting weight, gain weight. I swear to God. And she's 5 months pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
She's literally 5 months. She came back and was like, girl, I don't know. I just didn't feel good. And I went to the doctor and I'm 5 months pregnant. She literally just came back from vacation.
Oh my goodness.
Drinking her ass off and smoking. But she's fine.
Good.
The baby's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot. That's why I'm like, when it comes to that conversation, even though I don't know how we got here and we getting right back to Tahoe because he think he's slick.
This is what I do. I don't know what you think this is. I'm telling you. I'm really good at this. Yesterday's over there laughing like, she's talking again.
Listen. We getting back to him, okay? So thank you for that. Thank you for that check-in. And for talking about fatherhood. I also wanted to get into just like your thoughts on like Men's Mental Health Month, because I feel like what I'm hearing from the men, especially this event that I went to yesterday, a lot of them were like, this is new. Like, y'all just made this up. And I'm like, no, like this is not, it's been around for a few years now, but I think it's just getting, because mental health is now becoming something that's just more like mainstream and getting talked about more. There's just more of an emphasis on it now, right? So how do you feel about the month being Men's Mental Health Month, dedicated to the men, and just more of a focus on that? And like, what is like...
I think it's bullshit.
Oh. Expound. Tell me why.
I'm lying.
Okay.
But I just feel like They put Men's Mental Health Month in the middle of so many other months. Like it's Pride Month, it's Men's Mental Health Month. It's like six other things going on right now. And that's just me being social media funny. But honestly, I think it's very necessary, especially for black men. And the reason why is because of hip hop and what it's done to influence us, and the lack of fathers in the home, and just the lack of, so when I was growing up, being a nigga became the thing, meaning don't care about anything.
Okay.
Right? It was the Biggies, it was the Mobb Deeps, it was the push buck back on the system, your nails dirty, nobody talked hygiene, I don't give a fuck about nothing. The Ice Cubes, the NWAs, fuck this, fuck that, right? And that's how we raised our kids. And so the byproduct of that was we had no self-respect. And it's not even about being white adjacent, right? It's fuck that. Fuck that. But it's also about how you show up in your community, how you show up in your relationships, how you show up in your family, raising your children, and how you see yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
You spew that shit, but it starts to become your reality.
Yes.
And you start making decisions based off the fact that you really is fuck that. That's not a good thing.
Right.
So I think at this point today, it's really great to see more men having hygiene, more men, the conversation of being emotionally intelligent, or, and this is not a 5% thing, I know y'all don't understand that, but like knowledge of self, like understanding yourself, communicating with yourself, talking about how you feel, being able to talk to yourself about how you feel, and having the words or knowing the feelings, because normally all we do is we know anger, we know happy, we know horny, hungry. Sure. You know what I'm saying? It's like a limited, dial of feelings when it comes to men.
Yeah.
Whereas women, I feel like, have 70,000 emotions that they know how to describe how they feel. And not, well, obviously this is case by case, but the idea of men going to therapy.
Yeah.
Or actually being emotionally intelligent enough to communicate,
right,
is fairly new when it comes to the urban side or the lower to middle class side of the black community.
Right.
It's fairly new. We are stoic, hard. We like to look at ourselves as invulnerable, even though we are.
Right.
But that now is a toxic ball of stress and confusion that you're walking around with, and it'll bust at any moment. You know what I mean? It'll explode at any moment and ruin some facet of your life. Wherever you're at today, wherever you're at that day, that ball that you've been rolling, that's just been snowballing through your soul for so long, it's gonna bust and something's gonna get hurt.
Right.
So the fact that we're actually having those conversations today, and making progress, it's not the thing is that it's not like a one-shot deal.
Nope.
It's a continuous thing.
For sure.
I still have these conversations with myself. Like I said, it's been 50 years, and today, matter of fact, yesterday, it was yesterday that I said to myself, oh shit, you're happy.
Yeah.
Oh shit. You know what I mean? So just imagine how many conversations I had with myself before that where I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yes, I definitely think, and I also think that the reason I said it's bullshit at first is because I think it takes a community.
Yes.
What women think of us, our relationship with our parents, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
We carry a lot of mommy issues and daddy issues. You carry that shit. And you don't have much space to let those feelings out.
Right.
Your relationship with your older brother, your little brother, the people in, the girl from 7th grade that broke your heart. You just carrying all of that feeling, that resentment, whatever it is. And then you go to your friends and they just want to drink and bag chicks. and laugh at you when you say, I feel a way about that, and call you a bitch. So you learn not to say it.
Right.
But now that's in that snowball.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So the fact that we're able to have these conversations today, and there is space for men to have these conversations that is positive.
Yeah.
That is beneficial. It's something that we didn't have before. We literally did not have that.
Right.
Especially because your parents, whether you're West Indian or whether they were struggling or just didn't have the education, some of them just didn't have that education.
For sure.
To help you with that.
Yeah.
Or were indoctrinated by what society told them. So they went to church. They don't go to therapy. They believed in, tithe and everything will be okay. And that wasn't really a great way to deal with your issues, right? It wasn't. God forbid you tell them that, though. Because they would look at you like, you want me to go to therapy? Like, yo, it helps. No, they don't want to, So, and anyway, I think that it's a great thing. I love my brothers and sisters that are taking that step forward to understand themselves and what they're going through.
For sure.
I mean? So that's really great.
Absolutely. No, thank you for sharing that. And
you got me talking.
Yeah, I love it. See, it's not that scary.
That's all right.
And I think that I agree. I second all of that. And I think that it's not a small thing. I also think it's something that needs to continue to be like nurtured, right? Like like when almost like I don't want to use a baby as an example, but that's the example that's coming to my mind. Like when a baby goes from crawling to walking, then like wanting to ride a bike now or do certain things, it's like continuing to nurture and encourage. Like when the parents are like, like like it's something that has to continue to be like just nurtured in that way. Champion, so that men like don't lose sight that this is a good thing, right? Because it can be very easy to kind of maybe like just still shy away from it because it's been something like taboo or
you have to surround yourself with people that appreciate that,
right?
And you also can't project what you've learned on other people. Or I don't even know if this is a real thing, so you tell me because you have the experience. When I try to talk therapy or what I've learned to other people that either don't want to recognize what they're going through, they feel like I'm trying to therapize them. They're like, oh, it's too much therapy. You're talking to too much. And I'm just like, no, these are things that I've learned.
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist, but I could tell you probably should go to therapy for that.
Yeah.
Or you're internalizing something, or that's ego. Or, when I say these things that I've learned in therapy, a lot of people don't appreciate that.
They don't.
They don't want to hear that shit.
They don't want to hear from me neither. And this is someone who is like, I mean, shout out to my mom. I love her down, but she's an example. Like my mom is someone who, like, when me and her get into it, she loves to say, girl, just because you talk for a living, just because you do this for a living, don't try to come here doing it. I'm like, girl, ain't nobody doing that. You are fully project, like the language, right? And that's the thing. A lot of people don't have the language, but when they hear it, sometimes they actually know what you mean. Like if you say you're projecting right now, or you're internalizing this thing in a weird way, or your ego is coming out, or that's pride, they know what that means. But for some reason, it's just, and that's the thing. I feel like the more we actually start using this language in just everyday conversation, it doesn't have to feel like, oh, you're pathologizing, therapizing, psychoanalyzing me. No, this should be the language we're all using, right? Like,
but that person needs to be willing to make that step out of that comfort space.
Exactly.
If they're not willing to, they will block it.
Yes.
And say, well, I don't care. This is how I feel.
And
you're not going to tell me how, because they're not ready to make that step.
They're not.
So it's very hard to have that conversation with somebody who is not willing to be as cerebral as you are.
Yeah.
Like on the topic.
They're not receptive.
They're not receptive to it. And they are okay in their ignorance.
Yeah.
It's bliss. It's literally is bliss.
Yeah. And that's why I say, let them stay there. And then eventually they'll have no choice. They will be forced to, and they'll remember what you tried to say in that moment where they've maybe hit their threshold and they're just like, I can't deal with this and I can't live my life this way anymore. They'll remember what you tried to say, and then maybe they'll be like, a therapist, or they'll come to you for the advice then. And maybe because that's what I always say, when a person's heart is open or when they're ready, that's when they you know, like you can only help people who are ready to help themselves or willing to help themselves, right? And it's actually a Gem 19 Key said that yesterday, but I've heard that before then. But I was like, oh, that is so true, because there's so many times, you know, even though like in my training to becoming a therapist, you know, we were trained to like, you can't force people. If someone is clearly showing you, even in the therapeutic space, like I have clients who we're in the therapeutic room, we're in the meeting room, we're having the session, and I know they're being surface level. I know they're not going deeper. And I will sit right there with them and be surface level, because it's not my job. Like I'll ask certain questions, I'll probe, right? I'll probe. But then if I see that there's some sort of wall or blockage, I'll either ask about the blockage that I'm noticing. And if it's still surface level, okay, we're going to have a surface level session. And then I'm sure you're going to get tired. Eventually, you're paying your money.
This is your money.
You're going to get tired of it. And it's like, but I also don't believe in pushing people, at least my clients. I don't believe pushing them before they have shown that they're ready. Even if they're paying their money, it's like, okay, if we need to stay here for a few weeks, we can do that.
I argued with a therapist once.
Yeah?
I cursed her out and hung up the
phone. Why did you do that?
I was in couples therapy with my fiance before we were engaged. Oh. And I just think that waiting till there's an issue to go to therapy is a problem. Yes. That's a horrible thing to do. You should actively just be going. Yeah. Right? It's just like a life plan. It's just like anything else. I would go to therapy just as much as you go to church, or just as much as you watch Love is Blind, or like just once a week or once every 2 weeks, just go and just talk and just let shit out. Yeah. And it's like realign yourselves, or, set the clock. Yeah. It's like, whatever. But we went when we had an issue. And I felt like the therapist, who was a female, who was a lady therapist, sorry me for using the word female, but it was a woman therapist. I felt like she took her side. I just felt like they was trying to corner me. And I knew I was right. I just knew that I was right. Like so you're not going to tell me. Why are you asking me that as if I am the one? That's how I was feeling. It took me, I don't want to say years, but months. I had to be out of that feeling to see where that could have went in a positive way. Yeah. But that day wasn't it. Because we have an issue on the table that I'm not willing for you to tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. So I cursed them both the fuck out. Both of them. I hung up the phone. And I pulled over because I was driving, and I sat in the park in the middle of nowhere by myself and just sat there like. I tell you, I blinked very slowly. I was just like, damn. Sure did. I felt like a little bitch. I was just sitting there like, and did. Wow. Cursed them both. Yo, yesterday I cursed her. You didn't curse just regular people out like that. I cursed her the fuck out. Fuck that, fuck this motherfucker. Wow. And click. Damn. And that was it.
Did y'all ever meet for a session again?
No, that was it.
That was it.
I think she stayed on with my fiance at the time for the rest of the session. And me and my fiance agreed. And I think my fiance was like, she was kind of going at you. She didn't want me to feel that embarrassed by the conversation. Although, if it were today, where I am today, I would have kept going back. Okay. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to open up to certain things. I wasn't ready to have those realizations or to see it from my fiance's side. Right. I wasn't willing to do that. I knew I was right. Right? You couldn't tell me that there was another way to look at this. For sure. And so what's the point of even going to the person unless you're looking for them to validate how you already feel? If you're not willing for it not to go that way. Yeah. Or for it to meet in the middle. I just knew. I was convinced there's nothing nobody going to tell me. Yeah. And that's not what you go to therapy for. Yeah. I mean, she could have also let you be right. That's the therapist. Possibly. Like the therapist could have also, and that's where I think there's different types of therapists. Because I think like if it were me, because I've had clients like that where they are adamant that their way of thinking and viewing something is correct, and I can see that. Maybe I've tried to present a different perspective and they still are not. They're not budging. I let them be right because it's like I'm on your team. Like as a therapist, I feel like I'm on your team, and that situation is a little different because it was couples, so there's multiple facets there. But I think I would have let you be right even if I didn't agree with you.
even if I didn't agree with you, I would have let you be right, because I think eventually we probably would have circled back to it, and then you may have had a change of heart later on.
I love that.
And
so that's what was my issue. She was trying to corner me on our first conversation.
Yeah. I don't agree with that.
What are you doing?
I don't agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, why? I just felt bullied.
Yeah.
I feel like you're trying to bully me.
That's not
right. And that's how I felt. And I was like,
yeah,
you're not even allowing me to say. So that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And do you do in person? Do you do on phone now? Like, what is it?
I'm fully remote. So I do, it's like telehealth. So I see you, we see each other, no over the phone. I have to see you. It's kind of like a Zoom call, but it's telehealth because it's more confidential through telehealth. So yeah, I'm fully remote right now, as of right now. But like, my practice.
Are the couch days over?
The couch? No, there's still couches. Like a lot of, like maybe like half of the team, like the staff from the practice, they're. You see, wow, that's crazy. That's why I was like, why are you asking? I am taking new clients though, so my info, y'all know my info already, but I'm taking new clients. If you know anybody who's looking for a therapist,
I think everybody's looking for therapy.
Listen,
and I love the fact that you were able to break that down and see. So I'm not really a fan of people that can. You're not a professional. You're not one of the greats.
Yeah.
If you can only do things one way.
Right.
If you can't pivot, if you can't switch, if you can't see if you can't see, okay, that's not gonna work. Let me double back and go back around this way. And so the fact that if she saw me rising,
yes,
and allowed that to happen, that's a problem for me. I wouldn't have that type of conversation.
I think so.
With somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Once I see it going that wrong way, I'm gonna butter them up real quick. Like, hold on.
For sure.
I'm on your side. I fuck with you. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? That's just part of communication.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you told me like, oh, once I'd have seen it going that way, I might let you have that.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to be able to lead you down the road another way and you make the realization yourself.
To see it. Right. Not me telling you.
That's a great quality to have, to be able to do that.
I think, me personally, I feel like that's how all therapists should be trained. I mean, all therapists don't get this. I would hope, because there are different types of therapists. Like mine would be mental health like there's like the LMHC, like the different letters and stuff. There's like social workers I feel like social workers I would classify as like the OGs. They're the original therapists, right? But LMHC, which came later on.
What's the LMHC?
That's like licensed mental health counselor.
Okay.
So you incorporate wellness in there, and then your studies are maybe slightly different. Like what you studied, what your program looked like might be different. And I mean, that's how I was trained, where it's like we're not backing people into a corner and making them feel unsafe in the therapeutic space. You feel unsafe outside. You don't come into the therapeutic space now and feel like you're fighting against your therapist. Exactly. I don't think that's proper. I don't even think that's ethical. Me personally, I don't think that's ethical in the profession. Her intentions might have been good. Maybe her intention was just to get you to see something, but it's like, it's not her job. Like, I don't think that's our job to like get you to see. Like, someone can spend a year in therapy and not see. But I don't know that's like, because it's a two-way street, right? But I also think that like, if sometimes it takes a year for a person to finally let down their armor and then begin to like let you help them see, right? So I think like if your guard was up, if your defenses was up as a therapist, she should have been able to see that. She would have been able to see that and pivot, like you were saying, like pivot or just try things in a different way, or just even do something else. Like, let's do a breathing exercise. Let's take a pause. Let's take a beat, and let's do a breathing exercise, and then let's see if we could revisit this again. But like, just to keep going, and you get to that point, even though you could have had more self-control for sure. Like, we not taking away the accountability.
Yeah, and I also want to say that my perception could have been everything I said. That doesn't mean it was her reality.
Right.
She might not have been trying to bully me. But because I was in the heat of the moment and I'm feeling away and whatever, maybe that's how I took it.
Right.
And it wasn't even, maybe she was trying to get there, right?
Yeah.
So just to shoot her some bail. And also to say that I just love the fact that you're able to see that, especially talking to Black men.
Yeah.
Because we have shielded ourselves from any type of imposition, any type of vulnerability for so long. Yeah. You need help.
Have to.
Because that shield becomes a cage.
Yeah.
I can't get out of that. I don't even know how to get to the point where I can be vulnerable, especially voluntarily, especially if I'm not getting part of me saying is sex from it. Like, you wind up, you got your shorty and y'all, you wind up trusting after however many times you may have been betrayed or whatever. That's the really one person that you might tell somebody to might.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the world, you got this cell around you. You got this shield around you because you're supposed to be tough. You can't put up an umbrella in the rain. You pussy. You can't, you can't do certain things as a man. That's what they tell black men. You have to be a certain way. So for you to be able to see that and say, okay, it's going to take me some time to get him to see himself or to be able to express certain things to me and to himself.
Right.
And I'm just going to walk with him along that way, and trying to gently coax him along that. That is something that's so needed and so necessary and appreciated.
Yes.
And I for one, want to tell you thank you for that. Because that's what a lot of us black men, our parents taught us so much, and we're healing from so much that we learn from everywhere, not just our parents, but society and women and our interactions with men and white people and industries, whatever industry you're in, whether it be a trade or corporate America, or school, whatever it may be. You just learn that you not to be human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you get comfortable there and you get used to it. And so when y'all ask us to be, we don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Like, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
That's not safe for me.
Right.
And so for the fact that you actually try to make us feel safe in doing that,
absolutely,
it's a superpower.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Of course. No, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. I feel like that's my job. I'm like, I don't know how other people was trained, but I feel like naturally, like, that's something I learned in my studies, but also like in real time too, like with just interacting with so many people in sessions, meeting new clients and stuff like that, is like, not every client, is the same. Like they, they all come different. So some of them might be more easygoing, might like first session, they pouring their heart out. And then others might be like, yeah. So I walked my dog today. Like, that's all you're getting from me, And then it's like, cool. How was the walk? Was the sun out? Like, we'll stay on that topic because this is your journey. And I also believe like my client is the expert. So that's a different approach too, where like some therapists take a more directive approach, which is like they're telling you like, things about yourself, versus I take a more I would say more relaxed approach where you're the expert, you're the driver. So like you're letting me know how fast we're going, if we need to slow down, if you want to make this turn, if you want to pause, right? Like you're letting me know, because I think like, yeah, my clients are the expert. I'm just helping them unlock that, like they may not realize they're the expert, right? Because I feel like we're all the expert of our own lives. We know ourselves better than anyone else. But there may be some things that like, whether it's trauma, whether it's whatever, that kind of like maybe separated us from ourselves a little bit, from who we truly are. So once we get in a therapeutic space, it's like, no, like, what do you want to do? How you feeling? Do you want to, that's how I approach it.
Which route you want to get in? You want to get in the speedboat?
That's what I'm saying.
You want to get in a rowboat?
Listen.
We could just row slow.
That's what I'm saying. That's
nigga, I'm in a white water raft. I'd be like, ah!
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, listen. So but I know, some therapists are trained differently. So like, I love all therapists. There's no knock, but I feel like, I don't always agree with certain, practices. I don't. That's if I'm being honest with you. So when I hear certain stories, I'm just like, nah, I wouldn't have done it that way, because it
was definitely because she could hurt. I can tell you for sure, there were multiple ways to slow that down. Because I was the one who suggested the therapy. So why would I come here just to yell, right?
Right.
But in just introspection,
yeah,
I probably wasn't ready for the conversation that.
Yep. Yeah.
I needed to have.
The crazy part is most people who go to therapy aren't ready. That's the thing. Most people who go, someone suggested that they go. People have been pushing them to go for a long time. They got to maybe a place where they were like, maybe feeling like they were at rock bottom and they really had no other options. They felt like their back was against the wall before going. Something might have happened that triggered them to go very eagerly. Like, I need to be here or else my life is going to change in a major way. So like most people who go to therapy didn't really want to go for real. So
how many people went and cried during their first session? Well, like, what's the percentage?
That ratio is high. I feel like most, yeah, because it's like, it's almost like a. Sometimes I feel like it's a relief. Like they were waiting to get their shit up. Like they couldn't talk to anyone else about whatever it was, and now they were able to just speak about it. And it's like
a bad thing though.
Yeah, it's a
because that means that you've had that building up. This was almost your last resort.
Yes.
And therapy shouldn't be your last resort.
I don't think
it
so.
It should be like part of your routine, just like everything else. I've said I think therapy should start in third, fourth grade. Like it should be part of the whole school thing where everybody has to go see this person and you get used to it and you get used to evaluating your actions and your emotions and your behavior.
Yeah.
And I almost think it's kind of racist that Black people don't have that, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because if you know the history of therapy too, it's very white. It's very like westernized. It's very much so like we go back, like the first or early, psychoanalysts or psychotherapists were white men, right? And then, it kind of like more modern times. That's why like the ratio right now for Black and brown therapists is like tiny in comparison still, right? But we're growing slowly but surely. We're growing, but I feel like it is white, like the origins of it. And so, that's why, everything is pretty much systemically. It was by design.
And it's going to be hard for me to prove. I just don't think they want us to be that together.
Nope. They want us down bad. They want us violent. They want us killing each other. They want it to be that like, And
so
we're not well.
That's why I said it's racist, because they know if we would like all of this, there's so many things that you could see that they starting from young to plant, seeds for the future.
Yeah.
But healing the Black community is still something that's just like, so we got to do that ourselves. And again, why I applaud you for your efforts.
Thank you. So, I'll keep trying as long as I can, as long as I got energy, as long as, all of my faculties are here.
And they making wine.
Listen,
as long as they make wine,
the wine help. I'm telling you right now, nobody's gonna get me off wine. Nobody's gonna get me off. Like I'm gonna stray away from the hard liquor, the tequilas. I'll stray away. But the wine got me. It keeps me level.